Hi, I'm Jillian. I'm the owner of Authentic You Fitness. On this page, we talk about physical, mental, and spiritual health. Each week, we focus on a different chakra. Within the chakras, there are many different topics to be discussed, and so each week we zero in on a topic. At the end of the week, we have an authentic guest who talks a little bit about their life experience, as well as elaborates on the topic and how it relates to them. Welcome to our feature authentic guest of the week.
All right. Hello, everybody. So this week we are focusing on the sacral chakra, and our term of the week is emotion, energy in motion. So I have invited Hailey Rapsky, who is a self-proclaimed mental health oversharer and life liver. She is sharing her journey through healing on social media and with the term up and up. So she's constantly on the up and up, sharing, letting go of her traumatic past and healing in a positive and authentic way. So I'm really excited to have Hailey and Moose here today, and we'll just dive right in. So Hailey, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and why you're passionate about sharing your story today and kind of where you're at?
So I am 22. I was born and raised in Minnesota. I've kind of had, I don't want to say a rough path, but I've had a character building path, I guess you could say. I've dealt a lot with mental health up front, very up in my face. I've dealt with suicidal deaths through friends, through, I don't want to say family members, but the community of Minnesota has lost a lot of people through suicide, I feel like, in the last 10 to 15 years, for as long as I can remember. I feel like social media these days is very what people put their best foot forward, and I was really tired of that. And so I kind of just said, heck, let's be that person that's real, and no matter what happens every day, we take a picture and we show up and we share the fact that, like, yeah, today sucked, because not a lot of people see that. And the amount of messages that I get that people are like, I relate to you and I feel that, and the way you talk moves me. I'm like, perfect. I changed one life. That's all I needed to do. So that's kind of who I am and what I'm about.
Totally. Yeah, it's amazing. I love how you show up. Yeah, just like vulnerable every day. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, the ups and the downs. I do agree with you that a lot of times social media just shows the ups. Yeah. And so but like every day we have a full range spectrum of emotions. Like emotions are always constantly moving through our body. We're never just happy. We're never just sad.
No.
So I really
Not
like
at all.
exactly. It's normal though, right? And that's what people kind of don't remember is that it's normal to fluctuate and to have good moments and bad moments, to feel happy and sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, the term this week that I'm using is emotion, energy, and motion, because that's really what emotions are. They're meant to be expressed, they're meant to be felt, they're meant to be let go. So when I say that term, when you hear it, how does that feel to you? Like, how could you express, that term, energy and motion?
So I feel, this might get really deep. Good. So I feel the like energy and motion. I feel like if we tend to stick to the past and what has happened, our energy kind of gets stuck, and we carry that with us every day, and then our energy gets really heavy. And I find that if we let those things live and let them be and kind of let them go, we're able to bounce through life a little bit lighter and able to move a little bit better. And then in that case, we're able to take on more because we're lighter and we can do more things. And so like 6 months ago, I was super heavy and I was very stagnant and couldn't do much and life sucked. And 6 months later, I'm going to work now. I am walking Moose twice a day. I am getting out of bed at 7:45 in the morning every day. Like, I'm able to do all these things because I've been able to be like, the past is there. It's done. We're moving forward from it. And then messages are coming through. Sorry. We're moving forward from it. And we're able to do this with a lot more lighter energy. And the things that used to affect me a lot, even just like a daily effect when somebody would say something to me and it would bug me, those bounce off even lighter now. And as somebody who feels things deeply and knows that their energy is affected by other people, I've been able to pull myself out of situations a lot faster now and be like, no, this is a boundary for me. I need to protect myself and my energy and pull myself out of these situations, or be able to go forward in other situations where people's energy I click with, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like this job, for instance, like I started 3 days ago and I'm excited to go to work every day. I get along with my boss and I'm like, yes, we vibe. Our energy is awesome. However, somebody that I haven't talked to in months popped up and I was just like, no, I don't need to vibe with your energy anymore. You're kind of on a different level that I am. And I don't need you bringing me down, kind of thing.
Totally.
So.
Yeah. Like, well, I know you do a little bit of body work energy and like kind of Reiki style stuff. You kind of have worked with those modalities. So you know that like we have our energy centers. Our life force energy is constantly flowing through us. And like you said, when you're holding on to something, trauma or an unexpressed emotion, it's there, but it's almost like building a dam. And so it's stopping. And like you said, things get more easily stuck, like the little things, like a stray comment or whatever, rather than it just flowing through the light channel, it gets stuck and then it causes a bigger issue than it needs to. Totally. And then it builds and it builds. And like you said, it gets heavier and heavier. It's like you have a big rain cloud. And like when you can express those like good and bad emotions and feel okay, like feel compassion for yourself, that you have, not feel guilty for having them. I think that's a lot of people, they kind of feel like, oh, I shouldn't feel this way, or oh, it's not right, or like we were talking about with the social media earlier, like, oh, I should be happy or I'm grateful or whatever. But it's like, if you express the good and the bad, then everything kind of flows easier, and just life gets easier, really. Like I
want to touch on the guilt thing. Like, recently I had an experience where I had to put myself in a situation that like I could tell my energy was being really deeply affected, and I felt guilty for leaving the situation because of the other people that were involved. And I had to sit there for a long time and be like, no, this was the right thing for you to do. You felt better once you left. As soon as you got there, you tensed up. Like there were so many things that I had to put into order and be like, no, you can't feel guilty about this because this was the best thing for you.
Totally. The positive
I feel like a lot of people, and I definitely feel like a lot of people feel that guilt, and they're like, well, I could have done more for this person, and I could have done more for that. And it's like, no, what could you have done for you? Right. They need to take care of their own stuff.
like I feel like you gotta, there's like cliche phrases, people always say you got to fill your cup first, but especially when it comes to that kind of stuff, self-love is what's most important. And if it's causing you stress, then you are putting that person before yourself. But at the end of the day, there's only you. So you come first always. And I think a lot of us have just been raised to please other people, or to think that we need to be, loving to others. And it's like, direct that back on yourself. And no, don't feel like guilt is just your ego.
110%.
But now that you did that strong move and you put yourself first, when you're faced with that again in the future, you're going to remember how it felt, and it won't be such a difficult decision for you to leave, because you have already like kind of taken the first step, which is the most difficult step. So how has feeling your emotions and expressing them and being open and vulnerable changed your life?
I feel like people see me a lot more for me now. Like before, I'm not trying to say that the family name was a big thing, but when you're in a small town and people have that image of your family, like so-and-so's are perfect, so-and-so's are in this house, and so-and-so, like they put people in boxes. I feel that a lot more people see me for me now. I feel like the people that didn't care or didn't want to be a part of my life left. I feel like the people that cared and wanted to show up and wanted to be there did, and they're still shining through, and they're still showing up, and they're still being there. And I just feel like I am in a more warm, loving surrounding environment. And I've also met like a ton of new awesome people through this journey of being open and sharing, and heard a lot of their stories and can relate to them, which is also awesome because that's just growing this other side of this better, more open, aware life compared to what it used to be in just this closed-minded group of the perfect Instagram, whatever they were, perfect Facebook, whatever. So I feel like I lost my train of thought. I feel a lot more open to meeting new people as well, and talking to new people and just kind of hearing their stories. Like, I'm an open book now. My trauma's out there and pretty open, and hearing other people's stories doesn't affect me, and telling people my story doesn't really affect me anymore. It kind of is this open door, and if it helps you, it helps you. I can't say that our trauma is the same, and I can't say that we've dealt with it the same, but I can say I can relate to you in the slightest bits.
Yeah, which is amazing. Once you put your trauma out there, like, it must feel so freeing, just because, like, you know, you're not hiding anything anymore. And what I think a lot of people don't realize is, like, your family still loves you. And like you said, the people that are there for you are still there for you. And I think there is a lot of fear inside people that, you know, if I say how I really feel, or if I tell my story, you know, people are going to disown me or whatever. But at the end of the day, the ones who are for you are always for you. And when you, like, back to the getting things stuck in your vibration, when you have all of these like lower energies stuck in you, the law of attraction is real. So you're going to attract more of those low energy things. But once you're able to let them come, let them go, let them out, then the people that are for you start to come to you, because you're vibrating at a more authentic level. You're vibrating more for who you really are. And so these people that also vibrate at that level can come into your energy bubble, which is super cool. And it's cool to kind of, I'm like, for myself as well, but I'm assuming for you, you know, look back and be like, wow, look at my journey. Like, look how much I've changed in this short period of time, and how different, like, my whole vibration is, like, all the people and the things and the feelings.
Yeah. When I, just touching on the like vibration thing, when I was in the Center for Adult Psychiatry, it was my first or second day. We were in the meditation in the morning, and we were kind of having our debrief after and doing our chat. And one of the nurses said, this is one of the things that just has stuck with me. And he said, broken attracts broken. Mm-hmm. And I would, like, that just blew my mind in that moment. And I was like, whoa. And so that's kind of when I chose, like, yeah, I'm going to live a more sober life now. I'm going to do things a little differently. And then it also leads to the people who mind don't matter. People who matter don't mind. Like that saying, I always get it confused. But when you start living more openly, you'll meet the people you're meant to meet. And you'll also meet people that are just meant to be in your life for a little while, and you're supposed to brush them off, and you'll learn how to deal with things way better. So when you do meet those people that aren't meant to be there, you're like, oh no, these people are just meant to come and go, and they're not meant to stay. And like little things like that.
Totally. Well, yeah, people come and go all the time. And the cool thing is, like, you are where you are now, but in a year or 2 years, you're still going to be shedding. Your vibration's still going to be rising. And it's cool to think, like, okay, I came this far in this amount of time. Like, wow, like, I'm just going to keep shining. Like, you're up and up that you have in your profile. Like, that's really it. You know, you're going to keep growing, keep shining, become this bigger light beam, and attract more of those really great things, which is pretty awesome to think about.
Yeah, I always say, like, I'm always shocked, like, a year ago today I was doing this, but now I'm like, a year later you're so much better, and like what's gonna happen the next year, and then it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's so cool because, like, when you're there, you know, oftentimes we take things for granted. We're like, oh, it's a really shitty day. But then you think back and you're like, wait, is it though? Like, past me would have been like, they would have killed for this day. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally. So if you had, leads perfectly into my next question. If you had a message for past Hailey, what would you tell her?
Oh God. Stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
Stop messing. Probably something along the lines of live your life the way it's meant to be lived and stop trying to mess with the flow of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Just go through the trials and tribulations and everything will kind of fall into place.
Yeah, it'll all figure itself out. So true. Even the crappy moments, like, they prepare you for greatness. They prepare you for the good ones. They make you stronger. It's
110%.
Resilient. All right. And then last question. So if you had one message that you could broadcast to the entire world, what would you say?
Probably just the up and up. If it is something that is in your wheelhouse and it is an up move for you, don't stop for anybody. Whenever I think of up and up, I think of like the first time I started using it. It was shortly after Megan had died, and I was seeing a therapist in the community mental health center, and she was moving on from there and going to a better place for herself. And she said, you know what, I feel like we have this connection and I just want to let you know, like, I'm moving away from here. And I kind of asked her and I was like, you know, if this is an up and up move for you, you need to do it. But I want to know where you're going because I want to follow you there. And she was like, I like the way you say that. And I'm like, if it's an up and up move for you, I'm going to follow you there because you're moving up. And it was kind of like, that's how I see it. I'm like, if it is an up and up move for you, don't really let the people that are around you hold you back from that move.
Powerful. Awesome. Yeah, that was so good. Wow. Well, yeah, that is the end of my questions. Is there anything that you would like to add or anything else in there?
Just let life unfold for you. Don't try and mess with it.
Yeah.
Just let it happen. The bad's gonna come. The better's gonna come.
Awesome.
And treat yourself kindly.
Yeah.
Be kind to yourself and everyone else around you because you never know.
Totally. Oh, that's so good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being my guest this week. I feel like this will be really powerful and impactful to anyone who watches it. And you perfectly encapsulated everything about emotion, energy, and motion, and why it's important to let your emotions flow and be authentic.
Perfect.
And I'm super proud of you and all that you do. And I love to follow your journey. I'm getting all teary-eyed. I love following you. And yeah, like, I can't wait to see where you'll be in a year from now. So way to go. And you have lots of people cheering you on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to see the final product and to hopefully reach more people. That's all I want in life.
Yes. Awesome. All right. And cut.